Hey, good morning. This is Dale from DaleDally.com and the Soul Writers Academy. So the Soul Writers Academy is where people come together to plan, pen, publish, promote and productize their non-fiction books. So today I was musing about the 4 Ps. I wanted to do a presentation to you about the 4 Ps. And that reminded me of university, where we were doing the 4 Ps, which is product, price, place and promotion. And then the lecturer suddenly went, and there's a 5th element. And of course we're all racking our brains to think what the 5th P was, and actually it was an S, which is service. So on those lines, I'm going to introduce you to my 4 Ps and an S for getting your book done. And really this is a story around my own book that I'm currently writing, which is Healing Osteoporosis Naturally. And I'm a little bit of an overachiever. I set myself massive targets and goals, and then sometimes life gets in the way. You know, this week life massively got in the way. I had a very sick dog, and if you'd have seen her this morning, you would not even think that she had been ill. She's back to her normal self, which is an absolute delight. But you know, sometimes things take you off track. So my 4 Ps and an S are these: planning. You know, you really need to do planning. You may not stick to your plan, I rarely do, but the planning process is absolutely vital to get clarity and to lead you in the right direction so that you know the things that need to be done. So planning for me is actually a wonderful process. Looking at plans, I do not enjoy them. I always look at them and think, oh, I don't want to do what you told me I've got to do. But actually like I say, that whole process of creatively bringing a plan together is absolutely incredible for gaining clarity and direction. Perfection. You know, when you want everything to be perfect, what do? Procrastinate. I know I do. It's like, I want everything to be just as I want it. And I've learned that what we have to do instead is aim for the best that we can be. Now, the beauty of a book and self-publishing is a little bit different when you're traditionally published, is when you're self-publishing, if you decide then that you want to improve on what you've done, well, hey, you just, you know, make those amendments and you re-upload it. It is as simple as that. The next P is perspective. And for me, that's about having a vision about where you want this book to take you. But it's also about having really realistic deadlines, because if you don't have a realistic deadline, you know, when stuff gets in the way and then that tips into your overachievement thingy that goes on inside your head, then we can get into a little bit of overwhelm, and then we might just stop. So, you know, change those deadlines, you know, keep a perspective on things. With the Healing Osteoporosis book, I wanted to publish it on October the 20th because that's World Osteoporosis Day. But actually, you know, my journey only started in January, and I have a great body of work which is well referenced. But the reality is it would be better to do it early next year, because the whole of May it's all about osteoporosis. So I have a greater window of opportunity. Perspective, you know, use the noggin. So I've changed the deadline, and that's given me space for other things. Now, pleasure, that's my 4th P. If this book is not pleasurable, then it ain't going anywhere. Now, to make it pleasurable, what I find really works for me is to do things in chunks and then reward myself often. Now, it used to be that when I could wear lovely heels and things like that, I would reward myself with shoes. And one of the houses I used to live in, I had Imelda's closet. And yes, it was full of shoes. And I used to reward myself with bottles of champagne. When I was in sales, you know, get a big order in, I'd have a bottle of champagne, and I very rarely drink now. So I find other ways to reward myself, which might be having a bath or I don't know, meeting with friends or something else. But pleasure, writing a book should be pleasurable. And the S is not about service. It's about smiling, a cheesy grin. Because, when we smile, when we're like, that, our body's like, and we're grumpy old things. But when we smile, everything is so much better. So smile, because it changes how you feel about what you're doing. So that's my 4 P's and an S: planning, perfection, perspective, pleasure, and a smile. So I'm going to wish you a perfect, pleasurable, perspective, smiling, you can forget the planning, day, because we're I don't know when you watch this, but certainly for me this is Friday, and it's time to start thinking about the weekend and decompressing. So my name is Dale. I'm from DaleDarley.com, the creator of the Soul Writers Academy. And if writing a book or productising your book, turning it into something else, is something that you are really interested in, please do message me and let's have a conversation. Now, if you're right at that very beginning stage where you're thinking, yes, I'd like to write a book, but I don't know if I'm ready, then I have a 7-day Plan Your Book challenge, which at the end of those 7 days, you'll know if you want to write a book. So like I say, please join me in having a fantastic day. Take the 7-day challenge, come and chat to me, but most of all, keep smiling today.